If African countries want the competitive edge in the 21st century, innovation is the key. And already, many on the continent are doing exactly that. There are Mozambique's Made in Africa cigars, Nigeria's virtual doctors, and Liberia's vodka that won't give you a hangover. And that's just the beginning. Now, we've got all the latest and details of those coming up over the next 30 minutes. Plus, the latest news from across the African continent. So Jumbo, Sawubona and welcome. I am Dumelo Mututwane and this is #Africa. It's a big honor, but also a big responsibility. South Africa is assuming the African Union chair next month, and Pretoria is taking over from Egypt. The AU's African peer review mechanism met in Botswana last week. This to discuss some of the issues South Africa will have to deal with. And ENC's Kailihle Kumalo was there.
2020 is meant to be the year to silence the guns in Africa. South Africa is also set to be the next African Union chair. But Pretoria's image took a knock last year after sporadic xenophobic attacks. So, how will President Cyril Ramaphosa fare?
The way we see incidents like xenophobia or xenophobic incidents in South Africa, we don't see them as South African problem. We see them as an African problem taking place in South Africa because it's Africans fighting among themselves.
Delegates to the AU's African Peer Review Mechanisms meeting are extremely concerned by persistent conflicts in Africa.
What effect does conflict have on people, as an individual, the impact it has on women, the effect that it has on children? The effects are devastating. And not only that, it affects countries at large.
It's hoped South Africa will promote gender equality in the peace process.
We're really hoping to see more of the same, to see South Africa play a leadership role, an advisory role, and also listen, be a force for convening different levels of actors and players, including women, because women do have a voice, we have a vision, we are our best spokesperson. So we really hope to see more of the good practices entrenched.
The APRM feels it's an indictment on African nations that the Libyan conflict is being resolved by external actors. Russia and Turkey are trying to mediate peace, with negotiations so far failing.
What is it that we can do and learn from the Libyan exercise? Because we should have resolved this thing ourselves. It's African people fighting among themselves.
The issues discussed here are not new, but it's hoped South Africa can come up with innovative solutions to African problems. Kailihle Kumalo, Gaborone, Botswana.
Well, a plague of locusts in Somalia and Ethiopia has destroyed crops and left many people without food to feed their families. This is the worst plague in over 60 years, with swarms spreading into neighboring Kenya, threatening food production and the economy. Now, farmers and herdsmen are now calling on their governments and the international community to help them protect their crops and grazing land.
Ethiopian farmer AHMED IBRAHIM is one of many left in desperate need of help from the government after desert locusts, the size of his palms, devoured his field of cad and akati plants that he grows to support his family.
bahalkan saaka waa berigiibu nagu waa bariistay kolan caagad garaacno kolan maxay dhahdaa dab ku shidno kolan carro ku sheedno kolan go'a u haadino dhax cararo maran maxay dhahdaa aan usha ku kicinno kolba waxyaalo fara badan baan ku heriynaa.
He says they've been trying different ways to get rid of the insects.
Marka waa saasoo dee dhib weyn buu keenayaa caleen iyo calaf iyo jaad iyo sarciba haba yaraatee wuxuu reebayaa ma jiro. markaa dee dhibka abaartaasuu keenayaan kala cabsanaynaa aan ugu cararaynaa inaan kicinno markaa sidaanimo weeyaan dee inaan.
According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, swarms have already damaged thousands of hectares across the Horn of Africa. In Kenya, Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries Peter Munya says, while the locusts have spread into eastern and northern Kenya, there is no need to panic just yet.
The farmers, we are telling them not to be worried. They are safe. They have been able to contain the locusts in the pastoral areas. We are clearing them in this zone, and therefore there is no cause for alarm. Their farms are safe, they will not be invaded. They should just concentrate on their normal day-to-day work. There should be no panic at all.
Kenyan media shows police shooting bullets and tear gas at an oncoming swarm as residents bang on buckets and hoods in their cars to try to frighten the insects away. Meanwhile, the people are concerned about their livestock dying.
Hizi mimea unaona hapa ndo mbuzi zinakula na ng'ombe hata ngamia punda, so the more sitakula ni kumaanisha sitaacha kama hakuna matawi, so ni kiangazi wanalete, sababu akikula hivyo wamalize mbuzi sitakosa vitu ya kula na itakuwa.
A farmers association in Kenyan northern Laikipia area says it's planning aerial spraying of pesticides to combat the locust plague, which is the worst since 1954. The FAO has estimated one swarm in Kenya to be as massive as 40 kilometers wide and 60 kilometers long.
Now, before we go to an ad break, let's take a look at other news making headlines across the African continent. From Mozambique to Liberia, Africans all over the continent are taking innovative risks that are really paying off. And we've got details after the short break.